Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike and Amy here. We are flying solo. Do I have everything? Okay, my sign's on. I can see that.
Signs on.
Cece's here.
I'm
Amy's
tired,
there.
Mike.
What time is it where
I'm
you are right now?
tired.
What?
It is almost 10 o'clock.
Almost 10 o'clock. So
Yes.
it is almost 11 o'clock in Detroit.
At home. Yep.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So
No,
maybe we
it's
just
okay.
maybe we do a little shorter show if you get too tired.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm getting texts and everything. Yeah, it's hilarious, dude. So it's just you and I here today, going super late. I mean, it's 8 o'clock for me. It's 11 o'clock back home.
Yeah.
Being honest with you, this is when I like doing a show.
Yeah.
It feels weird going at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. For me, that's
Right.
always like, I like it when it's over and you're early and it's like, wow, it's only 5 o'clock. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But there's something about late night. I just wish you were in the room here. Like, that would be the ultimate. Like, that's the most fun when it's like, grab a drink and let's fucking have fun, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you for being here. Are you almost done in, what the hell,
Yes.
Houston? Are you in Houston?
Yes, I'm done. I have a half day tomorrow, and then my flight's at 5 o'clock to come home. So
Did we get a lot out of it? Was this trip super worth it?
Yup.
Yeah.
It was. Yes.
Yeah, I bet. A lot accomplished. Did anyone recognize you there?
No, not from the podcast, but
Well, no, I wouldn't expect you to recognize you from that. That would be insane. So
that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Yeah, I saw you on the TDC podcast.
Yeah, right.
No, MAGA Barbie.
Oh. My work people, some of them know about that.
Yeah.
But I try to keep it on the DL as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, I don't know over here. See, Garrett's usually handling like, should we put up I don't know how you do this. Oh yeah, if we're over here, I think we could pull up like comments and stuff like that. Like, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Oh, that's a private chat. There's a chat. Okay, never mind. Maybe not. There's probably no one watching anyway.
I was just going to say, everyone's probably sleeping.
It's 11 o'clock on a Tuesday.
They probably just thought they weren't getting their freeze worth today. And
lazy ass Walter's not giving me my freeze worth.
Yeah.
No, hell no, we wouldn't do that to you. And dude, right before I came on here, I was looking at some stuff and then I was like, oh, Bill Burr, cool, Bill Burr. What's going on with him on Twitter? You know, like Twitter, X is the greatest social media. Like, the videos and stuff are great on other platforms. There's no doubt. Facebook's gotten so much better as far as like videos like that I enjoy. It's like, it knows my algorithm and it's like, all right, 90s grunge music, fucking go. Yeah. You know, 80s pop music from when you were 10, go. You're like, it knows. And so I appreciate all that. But as far as like the platforms, and especially for something like X is where you want to go. Like, if you're still going to newspapers and shit like that, you're insane.
Yeah. If I'm like, I need to figure out what's going on with anything. X is the first place I go.
Yeah. I will find stuff like, cause I'm a creature of habit. And so I'll go and just be like, okay, I go to this paper. What's going on in the New York Post? What's going on? How many free stories do I have left with the New York Times? What's going on in the Daily Mail? What's hopping over at the Daily Wire? What's up at Freep? Like, I've got my list. And then if I find anything I like, I immediately go right to Twitter and I'm like, okay, the real story.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's just, like, we don't need these arbiters of truth, like, parsing this stuff for us anymore. But so I was doubly offended by Bill Burr, who has a special coming out this week, but I didn't have time. Like I said, literally as I was walking into the studio, I saw this clip from his podcast, Monday Morning Podcast, I think is the one he does.
Yeah, Monday Morning Podcast.
Yeah, like Monday Morning Quarterback, but Monday Morning Podcast. And it's just stream of conscience. I mean, he just sits down and it's great. He's been doing it for years. There's probably shitloads of people listening, and you know, he's Bill Burr. So he's great. But there have been some things of late that are coming out of like it's just weird. It's just weird. His take on like the California wildfires, and it was like his wife flipping off Trump at the UFC event.
Yeah.
And you're just
Luigi Mangione.
Yeah,
He had a
exactly.
weird take on that.
So I bump into his take on this one. I'll just play it for you, and then we can discuss. I don't have a story about it or anything like that, but we don't need no story.
We do have people are watching, Mike.
Are they really?
The Tony.
And I never look at my emails. I was scrolling through my.
Sorry, what was that?
I said the Tony said, "What the hell?
What the hell?" I know, Tony. Isn't that great? Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? Isn't that something? Yeah. I didn't even say anything today. I was just like, fuck it. We'll just drop it. And those that are have gone nighty night, they've taken their roots to bed long ago. They're just going to wake up tomorrow morning and be like, wow, a new show. Yeah.
My sister texted me today. She's like, so are you doing a show today or what?
You're like, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll get there. Kelly, relax.
Yeah.
You're good. Okay. So I think I have this here and we can listen to it. Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
And hi, Tony. Thank you for being up late with us.
It was funny. I made fun of the fucking Twitter guy for fucking Sieg Heiling.
The Twitter guy. Okay.
The Twitter guy.
So we're already shitting. And I'll play it through, but for the Zig Heils, we're doing that thing, you know. Obviously, it's settled science. He's a Nazi. Duh.
Obviously.
Duh. You know, I love that they got Bill Nye last week doing that. I don't know. So Bill Nye is apparently a Nazi. AOC's been a Nazi forever. There's so many stills of her doing that. But Bill's figured this all out. Bill Burr knows. He knows. So anyway.
I'll tell you what's funny. I made fun of the fucking Twitter guy for fucking Sieg Heiling, not once but twice. And I never look at my emails. I was scrolling through my emails and it said my Twitter account had been flagged for I don't even tweet anymore. It had been flagged for whatever. What a fucking baby. Just like Hitler. A fucking baby. How about the fact that the Twitter guy he's not even from here. He's from South Africa. He comes to this country and wants to turn it into a fucking dictatorship. He doesn't feel that we deserve democracy. Can you just imagine doing that? Going to another country and just deciding, yeah, you know what? I'm going to change this form of government because I've decided. Yeah, he doesn't mind living under a dictatorship as long as he's on the good side of it. Fucking laminated face cunt. Because that's another thing. All of these people that are into fucking Hitler, you know what I mean? And like look at this guy like he was some sort of fucking hero. The guy's one of the biggest fucking cowards ever. All the pain and all the suffering that guy's caused and the war crimes the Allies had to commit, firebombing fucking cities to get that motherfucker. When it came time for him to pay the price for all the suffering he caused millions and millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
Did he face the music? Nope. He gave himself a nice, quick, painless fucking death.
Okay.
That's your fucking hero? Fucking coward is what he was. He should have faced the fucking music. I'll tell you what's funny. I made fun of the...
You know, I like Bill Burr, but that bums me out bigly.
Yeah.
Who the fuck who has ever said Hitler is their hero? What is he even saying?
That was going to be my point too, is like, okay, point out the person, because I promise you, the first people in line with you would be Amy and I going, wait, you're on record as Hitler as your hero. Guarantee those people exist, first off.
I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do. But you would think, based on my, the people I see that the algorithm seems to throw at me, especially Facebook of late, like these people are just running into Nazis around every corner, around every corner. And I don't know what these people are doing. I've never even seen a Nazi. I wouldn't even know how to identify one.
No, if it weren't for the left, Nazis and Hitler would have no place in today's society. The left is they're the only people that bring up Nazis and Hitler.
I don't know what Bill, okay, so he goes on to say something to the extent of Twitter, won't call it X, you know.
Yeah.
So he goes on to say like that almost defunct platform.
Like,
And I'm
what?
like
He
holy
literally
shit.
bought X so we could have free speech back.
Yeah.
How is that a dictatorship? Like, what are you even saying right now?
No.
And they
But
have zero problem being insanely xenophobic when they're putting down somebody on the right.
you notice that
Like,
too?
the way he says, he comes over here from some other
From
country.
South Africa. He's not even fucking from here.
He's not even from here. And it's like, well, hold on.
Yeah.
Aren't you guys the same people who are like, we're a country full of immigrants,
Yeah.
and this country was made on the backs of immigrants, and we wouldn't
Diversity's
be
our
who we are.
strength.
Yeah, but not this guy. No. You have no problem being
Yeah.
like, he's not from here. We only
Yeah.
want billionaires who are from here. We don't want you to
Right.
come here and become a billionaire. No, thank you.
Right. And ones that fully, like, let's just be honest about what it is. Like, there's no way around this. You all on the left loved Elon Musk for my whole life. From the time he came onto the radar,
Mhm.
gross, which, you know, for some people might have been PayPal, for, you know, really kind of he was kind of this eccentric billionaire character that you'd heard of in passing, and then Tesla. And Tesla wasn't a company. All these people that go like, he just bought Tesla and took
Yeah,
over someone
no.
else's idea. It's hilarious. There
Right.
were no employees. There was no product. So that's when he kind of came on everyone's radar. And it was like, if you were in the exclusive upper crust and could afford this sort of toy, it gave you license to shame people who were just like menial jobs, like, ooh, those people, you know, the ones that, you know, farm and
Mhm.
do jobs no one would want to do. You know, the middle class, what they call
Right.
MAGA now is what they
Right.
were doing. And they won't acknowledge that or admit that, but we all felt that. You didn't do anything about it. It was just like, what are you going to do? But it was the shiny toy. Elon was the savior of the world. And oh my God, you know, and they wanted to shame you into buying one. And now he doesn't agree lockstep with them. And he's stupid. He's literally stupid. He's
Yep.
a foreigner,
Yep.
a coward.
Yep.
And all
Hitler.
the shots, all this body shaming, that fat, plastic face,
Yep.
like all the shit they try to like cancel normal
Hitler's
people
his
for.
hero.
Hitler's his hero. That's just established science. That's fact.
Yeah.
Fact. This is your hero.
Like,
This
you're
is your
getting
hero.
all
Like,
hey, Bill Burr, you're getting all worked up over something that's literally not even a thing.
yeah.
You made him the hero for the right. Nobody else has said that. No
Yeah.
one has said that Hitler's a good dude.
I firmly believe it's something, it really is like a story. And maybe that's the art in a lot of these people. You know, we used to say, like, Jay would bring up, we're looking at a movie screen and we're seeing two different movies playing on it. And I know the right is guilty of this too. I try to catch myself. I'm probably not great at it, but of not just automatically defaulting to, oh, this will be great because my side's doing it, right? I tried
Right.
to make that an example yesterday when we were talking about the tampon story and the
Mhm.
menstruation thing. Like, yeah, it's fun to just be like, these fucking delusional on men fucking bleeding out. Like,
Yeah.
but it's like, no, let's read that story. And I saw posts today with tens of thousands of comments, and they're just beating the shit out of libs. And it's like, no, I'm way more interested in knowing sort of what the truth is on some of
Right.
this stuff.
Right.
So I think it's hard. It's hard not to create a story and then, you know, get inside your echo chamber too and sort of further that thing. Like, yeah, you know what I heard? Well, you know what I heard? And if you're not really rounding it out with anything, you kind of get in that. But it's almost like Bill Burr has created a character, turned it into a villain, and then created all these assumptions of a
Right.
story.
Right.
And now that's just fact to him. Well, he's got a large platform.
Right.
And the one thing I will say about it is he does have a special coming out literally this week. So is it possible that, like, I'd be shocked if he wasn't on Rogan this week. You know, I would expect, just like Andrew Schultz was on Rogan this week, his new special, which is great, by the way, called Life.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. I will. Maybe I'll watch it on the plane.
It's, you know, it's all about IVF, his wife giving birth to their daughter, and it's a whole hour about that process, going through it. I don't want to give it away, but it's great. I mean, it's Andrew Schultz, but it's a very specific hour. It's not talking about anything.
Sound great.
I know it's good though, because Andrew Schultz is really talented.
Okay.
That's really good, but it made sense. Like, that's how this game is played. It's like, okay, go on the largest podcast platform.
Yeah.
And do 3 hours together.
Yeah.
And then, oh, by the way, you can watch my new special on Netflix. It's called Life, out now. Bill Burr's special comes out, not on Netflix, but on Hulu, I believe. I believe his deal is with Hulu. And whatever tens of millions of dollars a day they're paying him now. You know, he's in that group. He's in the Star Wars Disney group. He's in all that shit. So his special comes out. So I'd be really surprised. I'd love to hear. I hope he does do Rogan this week, and I hope Joe hears that. My guess is I'd love to hear that conversation of how Bill would justify getting to there.
Yeah.
With Elon
Musk.
You know?
He'll probably be a lot like Bill Maher. When Bill Maher has people who challenge him on stuff like that, he'll just be like, "Oh, you can't admit it. Oh, you just don't know. You're part of his world. And then just dismiss it like you're right, I'm wrong. I don't want to hear anything you're saying." And what I always liked about Bill Burr is even if he's making fun of quote unquote my side or things I agree with, he's done it in a way that is just funny as hell. And it makes me laugh. And it's like, I know where you stand politically, clearly based on, but I also think you're funny because of the way that you talk about this stuff. But that kind of rant that he just went on is not funny. It's not based in like any sort of comedy. He's just, it sounds like this crazy man ranting about stuff that's not based in reality.
Not even remotely true. So my question is, and I know I won't do an accounting of this, so no one will probably remember. I used to say to the Astronom file, or hopefully someone else keeps notes on some of these things that I do want answers to, because believe it or not, hopefully we're both here in 4 years when Donald Trump's presidency ends. And when that ends and he hasn't extended things to a dictatorship for life, he hasn't turned himself into a king, he hasn't enriched all his billionaire friends and ruined the middle class and laughed in our faces about it. When all of that stuff hasn't happened, he hasn't turned into Hitler, and Elon Musk hasn't magically turned into Goebbels, and they haven't fired up the chambers to just start, murdering people. When none of that's happened, okay, because that day's going to come, and I can say with 100% certainty that day's not coming. No one's going to do that. That this magical boogeyman you've invented is just going to poof. And then does it turn into like COVID, where we all go, "Yeah, told you."
Yeah,
and they all just go, "Dude, I don't even."
They just go, "We never said that. We never said that."
Care?
Yeah,
it's almost more frustrating because I have some people that I talked to that were hard in the paint. They went hard in the paint on a lot of stuff, and now it's like, just see this, and it's like, just don't fucking care. Who gives a shit? I just don't get it. It's like, when you were an insufferable cunt, you cared a lot about it, but now it's just take a knee on it. So there's either lose your mind liberal all over social media and Hitler's around every corner, or dude, I don't have the space for this. I don't care. I don't care at all. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
my liberal sister, all of a sudden in 2020, after Biden won, she didn't want to talk politics anymore. She didn't want to talk about anything during his administration. It was like, oh, well, I don't talk politics now. I don't watch the news all day, every day now.
Right.
Well, why not? So you just don't care about what your guy's doing? You only care about what the guy you didn't vote for is doing? Shouldn't you care about both?
Yeah. It's
crazy.
It's an insane world. I my brother and I talk often about it. Like, his big thing is wanting to get back to a space where politics is boring, and it's kind of like there's so much non-drama with these nerds that we just kind of go about our day, and we really do focus more on, you know, whatever we used to find
That's how
interesting
we
in our
got
lives.
here. That's how we got to where we're at today. Is
Very
because
true.
nobody
Very
paid
true.
attention. And
Yeah.
everybody was just fat, dumb, and happy and had no idea what was going on in Washington, D.C. And then, you know, now you look and you've got, you know, billions and billions of dollars going to bullshit causes because nobody's paid attention for 30 years.
Yeah.
So I get what he's saying, but I feel like that's also how we got here, is because nobody gave a shit.
And I don't know if it ever goes back to that
I don't
time
think it
anyways.
does.
I think those days have passed us by and are just gone. They just
Yeah.
are. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we are in such a weird spot, and how we adjust to it, I don't know. I guess we'll figure that out in time, but I'm really interested to see in 4 years when it's like, are you still seeing Nazis around every
Oh,
corner?
they won't care. I mean, they
do you
thought he
still
was going to
think
stay in office in
Hitler's
2020 and he left, and they were like still
Yeah.
breaking down about it.
Yeah, it's just so odd. You know, one day it's just Elon's only there to enrich himself, and I just always laughed at that. Like, oh, the richest guy in the world is worried about your fucking $3,000
Yeah.
return
Well, that's what, and like what he,
from taxes.
and
Like
he's
that's what
even
he's doing.
said,
That's
he even
his
said,
grift.
like, do you
Like,
guys realize how much information I had access to at PayPal? Like, if I was going to steal your
Of
shit, it would have
course.
been at PayPal, not the federal government.
Yeah. You know, he got in legitimate trouble. I heard Rogan talking about it. Might have been with Schultz. No, it was when AB was on, and I haven't listened to much of it, but they were talking briefly about it, and he was Antonio Brown mentioned, like, yeah, when you had Elon on, and he was smoking that joint, that was baller, you know, something like that. And Joe's like, yeah, he got in
Oh,
serious
yeah.
shit for that. Like, that clip is
Yeah.
gone. Like, they've scrubbed that from the internet, and because of the level of clearances, it got to like a serious thing. Like, you don't want that guy on camera smoking a
Right.
joint. And I could tell Joe was mildly uncomfortable. Like, let's get past this subject. Like this, you're talking about real people with real security clearances. And while that was fun and the rest of the country kind of giggled at it. And, no, there were other people that took that very seriously. It just kind of shows you the level of clearances that guy's had
I would
forever.
love to just have one day of like I'll just sit in a skiff, bring me all the classified stuff. I want to see it all. I just would love to have all access pass for one day and see all
one day.
the confidential
All right,
shit.
bring in the JFK stuff.
Bring
all
in
right.
9/11.
I'm ready for
bring it all.
9/11.
Oh my God, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh
we'll get this.
my God. I have to send
What?
it to you, and we're going to play it on the next show. This is a teaser for everybody to come back. There is a routine, a dance team in high school who did a 9/11 inspired dance routine. Mike,
No.
when I tell you, they high school.
How old are the kids?
They had girls flying
No,
like
I was going
planes.
to say,
Like they were holding the girls flying like planes. They were stacked up like buildings and ran into the buildings, and the girls just collapsed down. It's amazing. So that's coming tomorrow.
I mean, honestly, is that like doing like a Hitler mustache one and marching around and putting girls into a gas chamber and they all fall down to their death? Like,
it's crazy.
Honestly.
And you kind of see the audience, like they
How
start
does
off
that
like
even-
super into it, and then they see what's happening. It's kind of like, oh boy, like what's going on?
Yeah. How does it? I don't even understand. I remember when I was in high school, I probably told the story before. My buddy Ed, he's an artist. He ended up going to Center for Creative Studies, one of those guys, you know, super artistic dude. But he was doing announcing for the Harrison High School talent show or something. And so you had all these groups, and he was warned, like he was a smart ass. He was one of my buddies. and he called what are the flag groups?
Color guard.
But they call them the flag team or something like that at the time. So you had pom squad,
Flags.
cheer squad,
Yeah.
and then you had the flag. Right. And he introduced them as the Flaggets on stage and literally ran off the stage. And the vice principal is chasing him.
Oh my
damn it,
God.
Ed. He was warned not to do anything and introduced him as the Flaggets and bolted off the stage. And I think he got suspended. It was like a whole thing. I don't understand how you would get to a point. You've coached girls on a is there any sort of here's the planned routine, just wanted to run this by corporate before we hit the
literally
stage
I mean, they tell you you got to watch what music you're using, people, even if the words are bleeped out, people know what they're saying, which is a really hard thing to do. And with today's music, to find music that's appropriate to dance to. But never in a million years would I allow that routine to even be choreographed, let alone go perform it. And they were all so proud. It's so funny.
I remember there was a girl, the girl that actually got me the interview for an internship at Riff. So I felt like I owed that girl my career. She was the one, she knew Trudy and was like, yeah, they might be looking for an intern on the Drew and Mike show. And I was like, fuck, I just need an in. Just give me an in. I'll take it from there. And she did and got me in. She was Trudy's babysitter or something. And I'd never met any of these people. And so anyways, all these years later, she reached out to me and she coaches a high school dance team of some sort and was like, will you produce music for us for these girls? Edit it so there's no vocals, so it's just a music track, or maybe keep the hook in it so they dance up to music. And I was pretty good with that stuff. And I remember it was if there's any of this in there, you gotta bleep this, you gotta bleep that. And I take great pride in my bleeping because there's an art form to that too. And so I did that 1 or 2 years in a row for her. But I knew how they were listening to make sure you didn't slip something in today's music. They all want to dance to fucking rap music.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. That if they could dance to Wet Ass Pussy, they would.
100%. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough, even before games, they're before football games, don't play, inappropriate music. It's that's all these kids listen to. What the fuck do you mean?
Of course. Yeah, it's kind of wild. I don't know how you could get a 9/11 themed. Definitely
I will
have that video.
I'll get it and send it to you. Mike, what do you think? Do you think Trump's going to do anything with Derek Chauvin on the federal level?
Well, I have that story. I've had that story for days, and we can.
We don't have to if you have.
Because I keep. No. I keep putting it off, and I think it's a good. It's a good conversation. Stephen A. Smith. In fact, I've got video. Stephen A. Smith. So Ben Shapiro has launched a petition through Daily Wire, and it's kind of like promoting what is a woman or am I racist? It's all over their shit. And he makes his argument for Derek Chauvin being pardoned by Trump at the federal level. Now, he was found guilty on the federal and on state level. So even if Trump were to pardon Derek Chauvin, the cop, Minneapolis cop who put his knee, obviously, on George Floyd to death, even if it were to be pardoned on a federal level, he would still have to serve the state charges. But there's a lot more time served.
Yeah, you don't get out early on federal charges. You're serving every day of federal charges. And I think
you're serving it.
I think he actually pled guilty. I don't think he had a federal trial. I think he pled guilty to those charges because they were the federal charges, because they would, if he pled guilty, they were going to serve them concurrently, like at the same time. So he's like, I'm not gonna go through another trial. Like I was just found guilty at this one. So I think he just pled guilty to the feds. So there was no, like, he wasn't found guilty. I think he just pled guilty, which I don't know that there's necessarily a difference. But yeah, the thought being he would essentially be able to maybe get out a few years earlier on the state level. But I think right now he's in a federal prison.
Yeah.
Right?
He is. It's 22 and a half. He has roughly 22 and a half years sentence on state charges and 21 years on federal charges. So you're talking about shaving, maybe he serves 15 of 22 and a half if you're just dealing with state charges. He's already, but they've tried to kill him once or twice
I think
already.
He got stabbed in the
prison.
Federal prison. Which
usually I think so too, and almost died.
People want to go to Fed, like Club Fed. Although I don't think he's necessarily in Club Fed, but Feds are generally nicer prisons, I think, than state prisons. But I'm pretty sure the federal prison is where he got stabbed.
You would have to isolate him. You like, and if they weren't doing that, I'd be shocked. First off, having a white male cop in Gen Pop would be horrible. Like that. You just can't do it. And so, if he's in solitary, I would assume that's what would have to happen. No one would look at him as a hero there. Stephen A. Smith is popping off about this, and I have video of that, and then we can take it from there.
I'll ask you another question, Ben Shapiro.
Talking about it.
You
Ben
brought
Shapiro.
up, drug use. You brought up a criminal record, if I remember correctly. I think that's what you said, right? Right, Ben Shapiro? Just a simple question. Respectfully, sir. Would you have taken that position if George Floyd was a Jewish person? A white Jewish person? If a black cop had his knee on a white Jewish person for over 9 minutes, Ben Shapiro, would you have called for that individual to be pardoned? I'm just asking. It's a rhetorical question because
That's
you know
Stephen
what
A.
I
so
believe
annoying.
the answer to be is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we do. No.
I'm pretty sure Ben Shapiro would go, yeah, I would have the same thought.
But he of 100% would have the same thought. It was my first thought, and then I read what Ben said. He said his claim that I am a tribal identitarian, thus I would be just fine with the wrongful prosecution of a cop if a Jew died under the knee of that cop, even if the cop was not responsible and the fact patterns were exactly the same, and George Floyd's name had been Harold Bernstein, and the cop had been named George Floyd, a black man. This is intensely stupid. This would not have been a national news story if that were the case. The reason this entire story was national news is because of the race of the people involved. In fact, when black people were routinely beating up Orthodox Jews in Brooklyn, it was covered up by the New York Times. It was not a national story. The reality is that this was made a national story specifically because the media had a pre-existing narrative of race in America, and this fulfilled their narrative, even if the facts didn't match. Second, if the facts had matched, and this was a Jewish person who had been arrested for counterfeiting, had been high on fentanyl with a pre-existing heart condition, and then died under the knee of a cop, would I have said that the cop was innocent? Yes, because if the cop is innocent, the cop is innocent. That's the way this works. And then he goes on to say, Stephen A. Smith is one of the deepest, racial identitarians there are. He gives a couple examples. Blah, blah, blah. I think of it like OJ. At the time, you were pulling your hair out nationally in media because it was like, holy shit. We all watched the same trial, and you watched these people celebrate like they won a fucking title, and these people crying like what in the fuck
Right.
did we just watch? And it was really hard to make sense of. They couldn't have really seen it that way. What the fuck? And people would go, no, he seemed innocent to me. I just didn't see it. That kind of thing. And you were like,
Right.
there's no fucking way. There's no way. And it's taken 30 years, 20 years for people to come out and go, yeah, we knew he was guilty as fuck. But this was sending a message about the injustices, blah, 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 blah. If Stephen A. Smith is being real, he can't have looked at all the facts in the George Floyd case. That's a statement I'm willing to make, is that he can't possibly, he wouldn't be so emboldened to make this statement. It's such a ridiculous, like if that's going to be your argument, that is on its face ridiculous, but it's how these people believe. That identity politics means this much to them, that they honestly believe you and I would see a white guy get killed by a black cop and immediately assume the black guy killed him because he's white. Like, obviously the white guy's innocent. He is white after all. Like, in what fucking universe would you and I make that argument? Never. It's not an argument we'd make.
Right. It's crazy.
So,
it's so crazy.
I mean, this story, when you look at the FBI statistics of black person interactions with police, like you're almost better off these days being a black guy pulled over by a white cop. Like that's as insane as that statement sounds to make. And that doesn't say that there weren't historical injustices or people wrongfully fingered for crimes and spent the rest of their life in jail. I know. That all happened, but I can't do anything about those behaviors and those.
Yeah, and the solution is not to punish people in the future for what bad people did in the past. Like OJ. Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman died. They died. And they have a right to justice regardless of what the fuck happened to Rodney King. Okay? Like, just because the cops did something shitty to Rodney King doesn't mean that OJ didn't kill Nicole and Ron.
Ron and Nicole. Yeah. And that's the truth about this. And Stephen A. Smith isn't stupid. He's not. He's full of looking at stuff. Like I'd be interested to know, like if Candace Owens were to present her case that she did, and just go watch this and tell me what you think. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where the truth lies. And then tell me if you think maybe, just maybe, a little bit of shenanigans went on with the video you were presented on a fucking loop for months. And what that led to in the streets, how that was presented in the media light. Like, Stephen A. is familiar with how the media works. There's no doubt about it. Michael Brown almost went off that much.
Yeah.
George Floyd did. Here's the question, though. The question of what Ben Shapiro is asking for, a pardon for Derek Chauvin. Now, what do you think about that? Do you think that's a smart move for Donald Trump to pardon Derek Chauvin?
I don't think it is at this point in his presidency. I could see him doing that on the way out the door, including him on the presidential pardon list, because it doesn't matter. He still has to serve his state charges. He's still convicted. It has nothing to do with his state charges. So he's going to stay in jail. So logistically, it makes sense because it's not like he's serving his state sentence and then he serves his federal sentence. He's serving them concurrently. They're happening together. Right. So, I mean, we're talking about a couple of years here of when he'd be out versus not. And so I could see him being on the list at the end, but not 6 months into his presidency. That's not going to happen.
But he would have appeals, right? Still on the table, my guess. And if you were to have federal
I don't know
charges,
if he does on the federal level, Mike, because he pled guilty. So I don't know.
No, I mean, if you were to pardon or commute his sentence on the federal level, and I don't know what that does to the appeals, but it would give you a good argument. Like, hey, they threw this thing out on the federal level. It probably wouldn't matter. It's not where I
you
was
mean because
going.
he still has appeals left on the state level,
Right.
So if he got a new trial because, for example, the fentanyl that was in his system,
Right.
yeah, then that could overturn it. But then, yeah, it makes you wonder what then happens to the federal charges. I don't know. I think he'll probably, he might pardon him at the end, but it's not going to happen now. Why would he do it now? It just doesn't make sense.
It's so bothersome that their race comes into this at all. And some would say you two are fucking white and naive as shit to think that race isn't an issue when it comes to policing in America, blah, blah, blah. I would say, I don't know if you remembered, it was a long time ago when we had the lawyer that was running ads with us, and he wanted to present a case to Jay and I. And it was a police brutality case. And the guy that got roughed up was a white guy. And it was almost like he'd never listened to our show.
Yeah.
Because he came in and we fucking buried him.
Yeah.
No, you guys, I would have shot him right there.
Right
there. Those cops showed incredible restraint. I would have shot him there. I would have definitely shot him again there. Like, no, dude, I didn't give a fuck what skin color he was. Your boy was being an asshole and deserved, he could have avoided all of this by not behaving that way right there. There is when I would have shot him. Officer Walters would have ended that motherfucker right there. Like, why would you bring this to us and think you've got like a team that's going to come to your defense on this? No, it didn't matter what anyone's color was. I would say, so the question for me comes down to, you and I both feel pretty strongly about Derek Chauvin, and it's been hard because the media has done everything they can to present a narrative. They did the same thing with January 6th, and it takes a little bit of work. Like, if you notice what they do every time NBC News or name the outlet, they play the same 6 clips on a 10-second loop with January 6th. And it makes it look like mayhem is just, this place is going off. Like, if you didn't know anything, and if you're just trusting the media, you see these 6 clips in a loop over and over and over and over. Like, you just go, oh my God, these people tried to tear down the cat. Like, that's what, and you can't, I don't blame people for, like, most people don't have time to fucking dig into this stuff, look a lot deeper. The same can be said about Derek Chauvin, George Floyd, that interaction. There's a lot more to that story. It goes back years. It all comes in. It all fits like a puzzle. You really get a fuller, broader context of that interaction and his history and how it led to this. And it sucks.
I think even the jurors on the state side came out and said, like, he didn't do anything to save him. Yeah. So that's why we found him guilty.
No,
like,
they
he didn't
found
do
him
anything
guilty.
to help him.
No, they found him guilty because they knew their city would
and they knew
burn
their
to
city
the
would
fucking
burn.
ground.
Yeah, right.
They knew they would be doxxed personally, and their houses would be firebombed. Sure. Like that.
I was surprised about the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict because of that very reason.
Yeah,
and I give a lot of kudos to that jury for doing the right thing, regardless of that, because that must have been really difficult.
That was as big a embarrassment of the judicial system as I've ever seen. Honestly, I watched that trial.
That was
Kyle Rittenhouse. I watched during the day the actual trial, and it was an embarrassment that prosecutors were up there presenting the case they were. It was like, this is hilarious.
And the whole narrative about he crossed state lines with a gun. It's like, no, he didn't. They had to drop that charge in the middle of trial because it was bullshit.
Yeah, there was so much bullshit in there. It's a joke.
And then the guy, the guy who has the limp arm now.
I love that guy.
And
the child rapist, the pedophile.
Yeah, he admits on the stand, like,
allegedly.
Well, I aimed a gun at him, I was going to hit him with my skateboard or something. Like, admits that he was like attacking, Kyle
assaulting him.
Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Like,
is this you
okay.
pointing a gun at his head?
Right.
Yeah. But he didn't have to shoot my arm off. The thing doesn't
Right.
even work no more. And it's like,
right.
yeah, that's kind of how that works. You point a gun at someone's head.
Did you chase after him when? Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were being threatening.
You
Got
chased
it.
him down and yeah, okay. I was like, yeah, but look at my chicken wing. It's just like dead now. It looks ridiculous.
Look at my arm. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you're lucky you didn't put that between your fucking eyeballs, you retard.
Yeah. You're lucky he's got good aim.
This would, so my question to you is, and it's a serious question, is justice the only thing that matters? Because I look at it, that part of my brain goes, I don't give a shit. If you have someone rotting in a prison cell and it's unjust, I want that person, I want that dealt with, and I don't want that to happen to a black guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to happen to a cop at all. At the same time, what we're seeing right now is incredible unity between the Trump team, the black community, the Latinx community. They're all coming together and seeing through this stuff. And Trump has a job to do. And at the end of the day, if he doesn't follow through on some of this stuff, and if he loses momentum, it wouldn't go well. I look at the left and I see them every day on the usual suspects, talking heads, losing their fucking minds. They're losing their minds. They have nothing. They're forced to take issues that make no sense, are losing. They have nothing. If you hand them, pardon Derek Chauvin.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, immediately you go from like defending chicks with dicks in girls sports to immediately having on some level a legitimate argument for, sparking rape shit all over again.
Yeah. And certainly not going to happen before the midterms.
Right. So what matters at the end of the day? Is it justice above all else? Or is it like, you know what? I'm sorry, Derek, but it's too volatile because
that's what I mean. Because if he was only in jail on federal charges, I would have a different opinion probably of it because, no, he could get out of jail. Like you can't let this guy sit in jail for 2 years because you don't want to make waves and make tough decisions. Right.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's in a state jail and he will be serving that term regardless doesn't hurt if he sits there for the rest of Trump's presidency. And then on the last day, he pardons him. I mean, it doesn't matter because he's going to be in the state prison anyway. So I just don't think it's silly. And I think it's silly to want him to do it now. Like if you're a conservative, like Ben Shapiro obviously is, this is what you want, really? Like right now?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
It's like the whole abortion thing that happened, the Roe v. Wade thing that happened before midterms
22.
last time. And it's like, that was bad fucking timing.
Yeah, it was horrible. There's no question about it, and absolutely sunk them in the midterms.
Yeah.
Who's to say what's good or bad? Maybe that led to the shit we went through for those 4 years that led to, because that seemed like until that moment, Roe v. Wade, it was going to be an absolute ass whooping runaway, red wave. And that didn't happen because of Roe v. Wade. And so it kind of tempered people, made them go, oh shit, it's possible. You could absolutely lose everything. And they came out fighting the next time around. But I'm interested in keeping people here. This idea of these people desperate to have a talking point that works. Here's Van Jones from yesterday.
Yeah. And then just lastly, Van, in terms of Democrats and where they go from here, this last week we did see them people try to protest during the president's address and then House leadership getting onto them, other Democrats calling them out. They still seem to be wandering around trying to figure this out. What's your take?
Can we ask another question? Do I have to talk about my own party? Can we talk about Ukraine or something? No. Look, man, we're screwed. I mean, we don't know. No, Democrats don't know what to do. This is a nightmare. Somebody like Donald Trump, we thought we'd at least have, Hakeem Jeffries in the speaker's chair to hold him back if we didn't have Kamala in there to do the right thing. Listen, the Democratic Party is going through a massive set of internal crises. You have a party that got trapped two ways. One, defending a broken status quo that nobody likes because they thought that Donald Trump was going to make it worse. But when you're defending the status quo, you're going to lose. And then offending most people in the country, calling everybody sexist and racist and transphobic and every other name, and then saying, please follow us. That's not a good strategy, folks. Defending a broken status quo and offending most of the country turns out is not as popular as my party thought it was going to be. And so it's going to take a while for people to get it figured out. I don't like talking about this. I'd rather be beat up. Can you give me something I can beat up Shermichael about? I don't want to talk about my own party.
I know. It's a tough question.
You get the point.
Yeah.
And so if you were to drop a Derek Chauvin on top of that, what do you think the subject headlines for the foreseeable future would be?
Right.
Like, Ben has to know that.
Right. Yeah, he has to. And that's why I don't understand it. It's just weird. It's weird timing.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like that. It's a good point about the midterms in, was that 22?
Yeah. Yeah.
With, Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, that was fucking terrible. I was like, really? Right now is when you're going to release that decision? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smart. Didn't make any sense to me. I think it's in the right spot. I think it'll all work itself out. Believe it or not. I wish people
and
could
it wasn't
take
a big
beat,
deal
right?
in the 2024 election because people realized, oh, so you mean we can still get abortions?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I guess it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, reality is gay marriage could go down this road too.
And I don't love that. I mean, we've talked about that. I don't love that. I don't
Yeah.
want that. I think there's a big difference between the two. And, I'm
No, you
most
made good
certainly
arguments about that.
on the record saying that that's not something as a conservative that I would support. I don't.
Yeah.
To me, there's a big difference between that and like killing a baby. Okay. And, yeah.
Yeah. Ben and Jerry stepped in it earlier. I don't know if you saw that today.
Oh, those fuckers.
Fucking
I mean,
weirdos, man.
there is no more liberal company than Ben and Jerry's.
No.
They are Trump derangement syndrome in the form of a ice cream company.
Yeah. I take great pride in saying, like, I don't really give a shit. If it, like, I still will watch Bill Burr's special. I'll still check out Eminem's album. I'm not like those people like, I'm going to burn my Tesla. Like, okay, smart.
There's nothing that makes my conservative followers more angry than the fact that I love Eminem. I mean, it makes my ex-followers so mad. So mad. Like, I can't believe you'd support this guy. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I like what I like. Okay. Yeah. I was in a work corporate meeting today and I rapped Eminem on a microphone.
Really?
Because, yes. So we were having presenters and people were having like walk-up music, like batting music when they were getting introduced. And one person had Lose Yourself. And I was like, I got to rap this for you. So then the song started and they put a microphone in front of my face and I just started like rapping it.
No way. Do you know that? Can you do most of that?
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. 100%.
Really?
That's like one of my hidden talents is I can rap most Eminem songs. Like the way I am is I can do the whole thing. The way I am, I can do the whole thing from start to finish.
Yeah.
So like people were coming up to me like, I had no idea that you liked Eminem like that. Like you can just sing his songs. And I'm like, yeah, I fucking love Eminem. I don't give a shit that he's a liberal moron now, which is incredibly ironic.
Good is good. It drives me nuts. It's like same people taking great pride in Tesla stock is down and like,
like what?
Okay. Oh, now it's a piece of shit. Now this artist is like, I liked Rage Against the Machine, but like when they were Rage Against the Machine, and I still do now that they're raging with the machine.
With the machine.
I still like, I liked Pearl Jam when Pearl Jam was up there and Eddie would just go off on some rant about George Bush and how evil America is. And it's like, just play alive, fuckface. I'm here. I bought a ticket. Like, like I don't understand that. Like Kid Rock goes through it a lot. And It's like, no, dude, I fucking love throwing on an Eminem CD
Hell yeah.
and or whatever.
Yeah.
And
hands down,
dude.
my favorite rapper always will
Oh,
be. I will go
yeah.
see him in concert if I can again. He's
Yep.
he's great.
But Ben and Jerry's, I take great pride in going, oh, it's cool because I've been to the original Ben and Jerry's in San Francisco and stuff. And I think they've got one in Haight-Ashbury. That might be where the original is. And from years and years ago. And the cool thing is, I always thought their ice cream sucked.
Yeah.
Always. So
Overrated
it's like
and expensive.
in 1990, I thought I was a huge deadhead and I thought Cherry Garcia is disgusting.
Yep.
I thought their chocolate chunky monkey, whatever.
Chunky monkey sucks.
It's terrible. Yep. And I take great pride. It's like, no, if they made amazing fucking ice cream, it'd be like, well, I fix, the retardation going on in their head.
Right.
Get out of the ice cream.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, I pass it in the grocery store and it's like, no. If you give me a Bell brand, is the shit.
Yeah.
There's an ice cream place around here that I love, but I'd be thrilled. I like colorful packaging and cool cartoons as much as anybody.
Yeah.
It's
and
like,
the fun names.
Yeah, the cool names and stuff. It almost sounds like Jerry Garcia, the singer.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's Cherry. It's hilarious. Look what those Roops did. But no, they remind me of my aunt and uncle. They fucking to their grave libtards living out in fucking Idaho in the woods. And it's just like, there's just like.
There's liberals
whatever.
in Idaho?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're out there in the fucking Seattle, Oregon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Rooting for Gonzaga, like that whole super north, northwest air region.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. My whole family comes from that super libtard area. It's wild. And there's a ton of them still. I know you deal with it in your family, too.
Well, ain't that the truth?
Did you see
so today at the conference, it's like a airline theme kind of thing that we're doing, and so like the leaders we got pins, wing pins, and then we also got these like a captain's hat, like a captain's like flight hat. And so I took a picture and I sent it to my mom and I told her I was a DEI employee. She never responded.
Yeah, she was probably highly offended at that. I'm surprised she hasn't disowned you.
I know.
Like, seriously.
Yeah, I know.
What are you guys doing with airline stuff?
We have this thing called a flight plan, which is basically like our strategic plan sort of thing that we're doing. And so it's just a whole thing around flights and it's just a whole marketing thing.
Yeah.
It's not exciting.
Not exciting at all. Well, I the only reason I even mentioned it is Southwest Airlines is putting an end to one of their perks.
Oh.
Yeah, I like Southwest. I didn't know they were kind of a cheaper airline.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's who I fly. No, Delta is who I fly.
Yeah.
Never mind. But Delta, but Southwest apparently
they were decent.
Yeah, Spirit is like, dude.
No.
Yeah. I feel bad. We had a listener. I don't know if he still listens, but he was a pilot at Spirit. He used to email in all the time.
Yeah.
And so I always kind of felt bad. Like, I don't want to shit all over. But, it's not a knock on his pilot skills.
Well,
like,
right.
When Isis and Jay and I flew to go visit Mike Lindell with My Pillow in Minneapolis or Minnesota, we flew Spirit. And the one and only time. No.
Yeah, they don't even give you water.
No, it's brutal.
You have to pay for it.
It's fucking brutal, dude.
It's brutal.
It's like, no. The seats, how do you make airline seats smaller? Oh, they did. It's crazy.
Incredible. When you go from a Spirit flight to a Delta flight, it is so night and day different. When you step on a Spirit plane, you feel so, it's like you just feel so enclosed.
Well, Delta's great because all of their flights have the fucking iPad
Yep.
in the headrest. And so you can, and they've got, proper cable TV and movies and like, it's awesome. And so when I flew to Dallas last time, and I'm going to meet you there soon, I was texting Dave yesterday about it. So we need to get our schedules together, Ames. But yeah, I the time I was like, I just fly Delta. And so it was like, there's no direct flights. I was like, fuck. So I had to go up to Salt Lake City and then it's turned into an all-day venture.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
It's like you're in the WNBA.
Yeah. And I thought I was safe. I was like, oh, American Airlines. I don't know. I haven't flown American in forever. And I'm Googling like Wi-Fi. Do you just have the little TVs and a headrest? That's all I want is a TV and a headrest. It's like a fucking cheap ass iPad. Do I have one of those? And they're like, yeah, we're pretty sure you got one of those. And I was like, what do you mean you're pretty sure I got one of those? They're like, yeah, I don't know. I think the odds are in your favor. And I was like, all right, fine. No, they don't have one of those in the headrest. Sucked. The whole flight, I'm looking at my phone. And that's when I had that Christian wacko group in there. Like, dude, the whole thing it's like, Delta just gets it right. So I was thinking Southwest is not giving free bags anymore. They used to, that was their big deal. It's 2 free bags.
Yeah.
It was a great run. Shame this policy is coming to an end. Some people are saying I was wholeheartedly devout Southwest flyer, even with the changes made up until this one. Nail in the coffin. Might as well paint the planes yellow and call them Spirit Plus. So for 50 years, they've been known as bags free.
Yeah.
2 bags fly free policy. That's a big deal for people flying. But yeah, as of if you book your flight May 28th or after.
How much are they hitting you for?
They don't say, but they assume it's going to be like $35.
$40, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was like 50 on.
Yeah.
That I thought that's what I had to pay was like $50, but 35, whatever. It still sucks.
Unless if you have the Delta credit card, you get 2 checked bags for free.
Yes, and they say that too. Southwest credit card holders can check a single bag for free. Members of the A-list and A-list preferred programs will also get some free bag perks. I don't know what the hell that means.
What does that mean? They'll check it at the gate.
Yeah, check it at the gate. Exactly. That bullshit. Yeah. They are launching a basic economy fare to remain competitive. Okay, that doesn't sound enticing. This is what scared me though. They're also launching dynamic pricing models for their rewards program.
So what does
and
that
I was
mean?
Just like, okay, well, the only time I've ever heard of dynamic pricing is it's worked great for the concert tickets industry.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Remember when you used to go see the biggest bands in the world for like $20 in a stadium?
Right.
And then dynamic pricing came around, and now the shittiest seat in the house costs you $4,000.
Yeah.
So it basically, and I don't know enough about this, but I've run into this plenty where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, if you thought you could just work middle class job, save a few $100s and take your daughter to see Taylor Swift for $100, like forget it.
Never gonna happen.
Like you're not doing and so this all comes down to, so I hear dynamic pricing with flights and it's like, oh, okay. So the people that can really afford, money's not really an object, and it's like $2,000 for a flight, whatever, dynamic pricing.
Right.
And then the rest of you can just do whatever this basic economy fare.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what that means, but it's like, I can smell already what they're doing.
Yeah.
We will do all of this while remaining focused on what's made us strong, our people, and the authentic, friendly, and award-winning customer service only they can. Hilarious. Really? That's your focus? I'm sorry, but I haven't seen customer service be a priority for anyone. I don't care if it's the doctor's office, your local fast food joint, your airlines. None of them give a shit. It's like maximizing profit seems like just the go-to now. It just is. I hate to bitch about it all the time, but I know you guys are seeing it too. Wherever you go, it's like People they don't even look up from their phones and make eye contact. They don't even acknowledge you walked into their business. They don't give a shit. No one does.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing. I'd prefer honesty too. If they went, no, we've got our new slogan. It's what the fuck are you going to do about it?
Right.
Welcome aboard. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Right.
If they were just honest and went, look, we've got shareholders. We're trying to make some fucking bank, yo. And what are you going to do about it? Take a fucking bus then if you don't like it. Yeah. You could take a bus. You can ride a bicycle. But if you want to come here, our policy now is, what are you going to fucking do? Not fly?
Yeah. And let me tell you how this went within Southwest. At a board meeting, their shareholders and their board members went, do you know how much fucking money we've left on the table over the last 5 to 10 years?
Yeah.
In baggage fees?
Yeah.
Someone
probably did the math at 5,000 flights a day at an average of 260 people with one paid bag each. Yeah. And then just ran some quick numbers and went, we left $8 billion on the fucking table.
Yeah. And like we are nowhere near this same profitability as, Delta or United or whatever. And this is a really easy way to close the gap. The rest of our competitors are doing it. Why aren't we doing it? I mean, and you kind of understand, right? I mean, you can do that for a little bit, but at some point that company is in business to make money. They're not there for you to fly for free. They're there to make money, and all the rest of the airlines charge for it. So, it was only a matter of time.
It's just sad. We're at the, it's capitalism at its finest, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I do seek out restaurants, for instance. There's shit tons of obviously Mexican restaurants around here. And I don't want to go to a chain. I don't want to go to one that's got multiple locations. I do want to go to the place that I know it's fucking, grandma and grandpa started it, 30 years ago. And mom and dad took over and the kids are at the host stand and they've got sweat in the game. It matters. These customers are coming back and it's a pipe dream. I get it. And the airlines don't give a shit, but I do remember my childhood growing up where you got a smile and a fucking pleasantry, no matter where you went, you did. That's what you came to expect. And I don't want to be like, oh, these young kids today, like, no, it seems bigger than that. It seems like there's such a disconnect between, when I took my car in recently to get an oil change before I went to California, and it was just like, there's usually no one at the front desk. There's not even anyone there. I'm standing in the room by myself for 10 minutes before some grease monkey walks in, and it's just he doesn't give a shit. He's changing oil in cars and then fucking off. Like he doesn't. His part of the process isn't customer service or, and he was fine. He was fine. But it's just like, I remember the days of getting hey, welcome in, what can we do for you? Here's what we've got to offer. Yeah. Like, it just seems like more and more that's everywhere. It was going on in Detroit. It's not a Phoenix thing. And I see a lot of people bitching about it online, so I'm not the only one. So I'd almost have more respect. Don't give me this horse shit line of like, it's all about the customer. Fuck off.
Yeah, just come out and be like, hey, listen, we gave you free bags for a decade. You're welcome. Yeah. Now you got to pony up. Yeah. Pay up like everybody else when you fly in any other airline. Yeah.
We've got a board full of billionaires, and we've got to justify profit margins to them. So here's the deal. We can beat Delta's pricing by about $50, or you can go on fucking Spirit if you want. Like you want to go ghetto air, go ahead. Right. We can beat the pricing there, you cheap fuck. But what are you going to do? You can take a Greyhound or Spirit.
Yeah. I mean, what I don't understand about Spirit is by the time you a la carte everything, it's the same flight price to fly on Delta. Delta doesn't nickel and dime you for literally everything. Like you step on the plane and you have to pay money at Spirit. I mean, it's crazy the stuff that they nickel and dime you for. You don't, like I said, you don't even get water.
Yeah, no water, no snack, no nothing.
But yeah, I mean, if I can get free bags on Delta and, free Wi-Fi, that's another thing that they have that Spirit doesn't have is free Wi-Fi.
Yeah. No, there's no question. It's worth it on Delta if it's like, the flight is $350 for these seats close to the shitter, or for not 350, but for 400, you can get in what's the next grade class, Comfort Plus.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's worth it for the drink or the free bags or whatever that comes like, and and so you can start doing the math in your head. I remember back in the day when it was $75. If they had first class tickets available, you could upgrade for $75.
Yeah.
And everywhere I went for about 5 years, I would literally set alarms and like get up if we had a red eye flight or something somewhere, it was like, dude, one of us has to be up at 2 a.m. to log on, be the first one online when you're 24 hours out from check-in, to pay the $75 and upgrade to first class.
Yeah.
If you were, and for me, it was so worth it. If I was flying 5 hours to the West Coast or to Mexico or something, like those days are long gone. Yes. Speaking of first class flights, you see, we lost Rosie. We lost Rosie O'Donnell.
So sad. Bye-bye.
You bummed? Yeah. Hey, do you give her credit? I see a lot of people are giving her
actually
credit.
Leaving.
She was like, nah. Yeah, for actually doing it.
Yeah.
And getting out of here.
Hey, I mean,
should we hear a minute of her?
If you're going to do it, if you say you're going to do it, you better fucking do it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's got to be something ego related. It has to be ego when it seems like it's one class of people that always makes these threats. Like, you're losing out. It's the same group of people that are like announcing their departure from Twitter. Yeah, and then they crawl back. Steve King is famous for this. Steve King is back now on Twitter. He went over to Blue Sky or whatever, and it was like, yeah, how'd that work out for you in your little echo chamber where no one gave a shit and no one supported? And then now he's just back on X. Like, what?
It's crazy.
Nothing here. It's like, no. You ran away. Remember, this was too hate-filled and too divisive, and you were the better person. Remember, you virtue signaled to all of us how you just couldn't take this anymore and you needed to excuse yourself.
Right.
Yeah, but you didn't. And so there's this virtue signal with all of these celebrities. It's always that group. You're never going to hear your mechanic go, fucking Biden wins, I'm moving to Canada. Like, you're not going to hear that from people. Like, their egos aren't so out of control that people are going to go, let's have a meeting about this. What are we going to do? How are we going to survive if Ellen leaves? Like, how big your ego has to be. So here's Ellen, or I'm sorry, Rosie today. I apologize in advance for pulling this video up. It's a close up, and I'm sorry about that. You've been warned, but let's check out Rosie.
Well, hey everybody, it's me, Rosie O'Donnell, star of the Flintstones. It's Tuesday all day, as my nana would say. And I'm here.
Why do they always look like that?
And it's beautiful and warm. Not physically, it's actually quite cold. Moved here on January 15th, and it's been pretty wonderful, I have to say. The people are so loving and so kind, so welcoming. Yeah. And I'm very grateful. Yeah. I'm in the process of getting my Irish citizenship, as I have Irish grandparents, and that's what's going on, and that's where I've been and what I've been doing. And although I was never someone who thought I would move to another country, that's what I decided would be the best for myself and my 12-year-old child. And here we are. Here we are.
What about your other child?
So TikTok has gotten a little bit dark and negative for me. I don't feel capable of going through the hate that comes through, and I'm trying Substack, and I think I like it there. Now, it's hard to learn. If the
Imagine this being your mom.
Oh my God. I know. You know what? We get the point. Yeah. Imagine that being your mom.
I mean, you can't handle being on TikTok.
Yeah.
You had to uproot your 12-year-old from
Yeah.
the life that she knew and all of her friends because your privileged ass thought Donald Trump was going to come after you.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Imagine the level of privilege you must have
Mhm.
to put up your phone, bring up your phone, turn the camera on,
Yeah.
and talk about how you're rich enough to up and move at a whim because
Yeah.
of who the president is.
I wonder if she sold all her properties in America. You notice she said she's going for her citizenship in Ireland.
Yeah.
She was smart to include her grandparents
Yeah.
were Irish, right? That's one of the things. So you can have dual citizenship. My guess is she will not renounce her U.S. citizenship.
Oh, good
That
Lord, no.
she will retain that winning lottery ticket. I'm sure that she'll love Ireland and driving around and whatever the hell she's going to do there. She ended her video. This was a 10-minute long bullshit thing. I'll spare everybody,
Oh
but
my God, I would have no.
yeah.
Nope.
She said, what's happening politically is hard for me personally as well. The personal is political, as we all know. She said, protect your sanity is all I can say. Protect your sanity as much as you can and try not to swim in the chaos if possible. But I know it's nearly impossible when you're there in the middle. You know, people like you created the chaos.
Right.
Like that's the sad, ironic part about all this is it's the Rosie O'Donnells and Bill Burrs that are creating such chaos.
Right. Exactly.
Like that's what
That's
you're
correct.
doing
Just
every
live
day.
your life.
Yeah, have
What?
fun. Enjoy the bazillions of dollars you've got, the multiple properties you own where you don't have to even, cross paths with
I mean,
normal people.
If you're introducing yourself as the star of the Flintstones movie,
Yeah.
do you have millions and millions of dollars?
Yeah, because she had a number one day talk show on a network
That's true.
for years.
And she was in Harriet the Spy.
Yeah, and League of Their Own,
Mm-hmm.
with Tom Hanks, Madonna. She ends with I think about everyone every day in the United States of America, and I'm hoping that we can turn things around, counting on you, all of you, to do what's right. And I think deep down inside, we all know what that is. Is she talking about murdering the president?
What the fuck does that mean?
I mean, what else does that mean? Like, I'm counting on you to do what's right, and I think we all know what that is.
Yeah, that's how I would interpret that.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to blow something into something it's not, but there's too many people way too comfortable with talking about ending human life for disagreements they have with them. I'm
Right.
seeing it all the
Right.
time on my feeds.
Right.
You shared a post recently.
Yeah.
That had some fucking clown standing there against a wall, just bragging about how awesome it would be to murder the president. Like, it's insane.
It's
These
crazy.
people are insane. How do they not see that?
Imagine being so insane that you uproot your child to
Your
another
12-year-old.
country
Yeah.
because of who the president is for 4 years.
Yeah.
She probably won't even have her citizenship in 4 years. She'll be coming back here before she has her citizenship there.
Oh, do you think there's any chance she's not flocking back to America? She's going to spend some wild winters in Ireland?
Right.
Like, I don't think so. By the way, you mentioned your 12-year-old daughter. What about your other daughter, Chelsea?
Yeah.
What happened to
Doesn't she have some
Chelsea?
issues?
She's the one that went missing at 15 and was found in the attic of a 27-year-old heroin dealer.
What?
Yeah. And then weeks later left again to live with her birth mom. And then a month after that moved in with the heroin dealer boyfriend and her mom.
Sweet.
So
The heroin dealer, they didn't bring him, so they're not in Ireland.
What's that? Shit.
They're not
I
in
lost you there.
Ireland.
What?
The heroin dealer.
No.
Okay.
No, but Chelsea was nice enough to give us some quotes about what living with Rosie O'Donnell was like.
Oh.
And these are quotes. So these aren't like buzz on the street is, or people are sources say, like, no, these are quotes, and this was heartbreaking to Rosie at the time, but these are quotes from Chelsea about Rosie, her adoptive mother. I find her not genuine a lot of the time. When we'd go out, she was a completely different person in public than at home. I had a hard time with that. It's like two different people. I feel she should be her real self, who she really is. She has this public persona. She will put this big smile on her face, try to be funny. She would always go up to people and want to hold their babies in public. She was this happy, friendly side to her. Whereas when we were home, even if it was on the same day, she would either just be in a room, not engaging with us, or watching documentaries by herself. What home life is like. Our dinners were mostly ordering in pizza or Chinese food because nobody could cook except for my other mom, Kelly Carpenter, Rosie's first ex-wife. Rosie would eat takeout with us, and if there were cookies in the house, she would eat them all. Yeah, like Trump said, she came to my wedding, she ate all the cake. According to her daughter, yeah, if there were cookies in the house, fuck that, they were gone. Rosie ate them all. She was always coming to our rooms and asking if we had any candy. She would drink beer when we were growing up, but after her heart attack, she couldn't. Now I think she drinks wine. I mean, she smokes weed, not around us, but the whole house smells like it. Nice. I'm not here to judge, but Rosie's hobbies. She has a whole house, which is just for her arts and crafts. Oh, isn't that nice? She's got a whole house just for arts and crafts.
Did she uproot that to Ireland?
I don't know. I don't know if she did. She's probably hanging on to those properties would be my guess. Yeah. You know, she doesn't need the money. She bought the house, the next door neighbor's house. She goes and spends all day down there. Rosie does a lot of painting and doodles on these little money dolls. Those are customizable blank figurines. She puts her signature on and then sells them online. She has some speakers set up and she blasts Madonna. She's obsessed with her. But she also likes to play Eminem and Chris Brown. She would watch documentaries and draw all day long in her bedroom or in her arts and crafts house.
And her 15-year-old daughter's like, I'm going to go to the heroin guy down the street. You good?
You know the guy that's twice my age that deals heroin? I'm moving in with that fucker. Rosie's fuse was really short with me. She would yell for punishment. We were sent to our rooms, no electronics, not being allowed to hang out with friends. She told me I was different from the other kids. At the beginning of the summer when Parker was acting like a jerk and she was yelling at him, she'd turn to me and say, see, you're not the problem child anymore. Like, sounds like a real stable environment, a fun person to be around. I don't know what's going on with Parker, by the way. I don't know where that goes.
And her poor 12-year-old is stuck in Ireland now.
Yeah. So the 12-year-old is. Parker can fuck off, and Chelsea, you know, hopefully she's lived happily ever after with the heroin dealer.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, she seems awfully concerned about, you know, how her rights are going to be, and her rights are all being taken away by Trump. This false narrative that, you know, her rights are going to be trampled on, and I don't know, like, dude, no one cares if you're eating box every week. No one cares.
Yeah,
have fun. No one's trampling on your rights. By the way, I looked up hate speech in Ireland, and this should be just so sacred for a comic. Any comic that has any issue with free speech, you know, just drives me insane, drives me out of my mind. It's like Rosie O'Donnell is supposedly a comedian. Like that's what her background is. They have the Prohibition of Incitement to Hatred Act of 1989 sets out the law on hate speech. It's an offense to communicate threatening, abusive, or insulting material that is intended or likely to stir up hatred against a group of people because of their race, color, nationality, religion, ethnic or national origins, membership of the traveler community, or sexual orientation. The communication can be spoken, in writing, broadcast, or part of a recording. If the person did not intend to stir up hatred, they can defend a charge by proving that they did not know the content of the material and had no reason to suspect that the material was threatening, abusive, or insulting. Good luck proving that.
Oh my God.
So what if
I
you
love
called
when
her
people are like, other countries have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
No,
No.
fuck, they don't.
Not even close.
No.
So like if you got pissed at Rosie O'Donnell and just hauled off and called her a fat dyke, like good luck defending that in court.
Right.
As a protected fucking whatever class
Right.
she is over there.
Right.
You cannot be convicted of inciting hatred for things you say in a private residence unless the words, behavior, or material are heard or seen by someone outside the residence.
There is not a single thing on the planet that would bring me more joy than Rosie O'Donnell getting locked up in an Irish jail for saying shit about Donald Trump. That would be.
Can you imagine?
One of the funniest things to ever happen in all of the lands.
I mean, body shaming would fall into these categories. And who's to say what someone put offense at? If she starts making fun of his hair, making fun of it, they body shame Donald Trump all the fucking time.
Right. Right.
Fat, this, orange,
or saying
fat.
I heard Trump's coming to Ireland. You guys know what to do. You know what to do.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine?
Lock her up, throw away the key.
It also has an offense to prepare or to have in your possession any offending written material, sound recording, or visual images that you or someone else intend to distribute, broadcast, display, or publish, either in Ireland or abroad.
Jesus.
So if you and I were at a dinner together with Rosie at a house, and you wrote me a sticky note that just said, "This fucking lesbo is insufferable. This is an insufferable lesbian." If that was written down on a note,
we're both getting locked up.
Fucking done. You hand it to me and now I'm guilty of some charge. How am I going to improve?
But they've got free speech, Mike.
Yeah, sure they do. And then they give you a line here. You can read a NARC report on hate speech. Here's who you report to. Like, we'll send them to the gulag, okay?
Yeah.
We'll get the brown shirts over there to arrest you on the spot.
Yep.
Some of these, they have a law on hate crime in Ireland, a new Criminal Justice Hate Offense Act of 2024 that commenced on December 24th last year, provides increased focus on hatred in sentencing. They have bigger penalties now than the same crimes that are not motivated by hatred. So crimes which are hate crimes when hatred is proven include damaging property, threatening or insulting behavior in a public place, assault causing harm or serious harm, harassment. So assault, I have no problem with that.
Right.
You want to go after someone and assault them while saying faggot to them or something, fine. Yeah, you should go to jail for that. Assault with harm or serious harm, great. No problem with that. Harassment, like who gets to decide what is, like, honest to God, hey, they, them, nice haircut, looks like Papa Smurf came on top of your head. Like, that's harassment.
Right.
Like, seriously, if you tweeted that at some fucking purple-haired he, him, they, them online, and you made a joke about it.
Yeah.
Like,
they're
go to
literally
jail.
locking people up for tweets. Like, that's a real thing. People get locked up for tweets.
Oh, yeah. Like, you better pray, Rosie, by the way, that that people who align entirely with your belief system stay in power forever. That's what you better hope. Because when you have such loosely interpretable laws, anyone can claim offense. Therein lies the problem with these, and is the beauty in the American system, and what sets us apart from everybody, because we see it all the fucking time. When you're able to weaponize this stuff against your enemies, they do. And you better hope that there is a law that is on those books meant specifically to safeguard you against that. Right? Like
Yep.
that's the reality where we saw them throw the kitchen sink at Donald Trump
Yep.
with all of this shit.
Yep.
They tried to take away his free speech. In Ireland, good luck. As a comic, good fucking luck.
I don't think I'd put her in the comic category anymore.
Yeah,
but.
I know. But there was a day. You were probably too young, honestly. But she started.
No, I remember. But yeah, she's long from that.
No, I know. It is like Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah,
Whoopi
for sure.
Goldberg's not a comic.
Right.
All right, why don't we shut it down? It's got to be 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, it's 11. It's way past my bedtime. I'm crashing.
We'll do an email. We'll circle back tomorrow. Thank you for even doing this, Ames. It's only 9:30 here, so I'm okay. But I haven't eaten, so I gotta eat something to eat.
Gotta go eat.
Let's see. Tell the whole to stop wasting money. Mike, you are spot on about Fleming's. Used to be extremely good, but it absolutely eats shit nowadays. Tell her to go here if she doesn't want reconstituted dog meat. And he mentions Hyde Park restaurants.
Hyde Park's great. We've been to Hyde Park. Yeah. Well,
I would suggest
we had a gift card to Fleming's, which I couldn't find. So didn't end up using it. But Hyde Park's good.
I haven't been there yet. I would suggest going to the Deer Lake Athletic Club in Clarkston.
Yes.
Full gym, fitness classes, 3 pools, swim lessons, tennis, pickleball, childcare, all that. The Backcourt Restaurant is where it's at, inside Deer Lake Athletic Club. Weekly specials like Talk Show Tuesday, Quizzo on Wednesday, kids meals for just $5 on Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday, dinner specials, live entertainment Friday and Saturdays. Break fast on Sundays from 10 to 1. Bloody Mary bar, bottomless mimosas. They've got a Sunday menu special after 1 p.m. If you need to book an event, call Emily, 248-625-8686, or visit 6167 White Lake Road in Clarkston, or go to their website, deerlakeathletic.com, for more info. The Deer Lake Athletic Club, one club for the whole family. All right, let's do one more email, and then I'll get you out of here. Let's see here. Swiggers, hard R. Oh, of course it's James. This is the squirrels. I think Garrett had mentioned calling them that. I didn't. So don't report me to Ireland, please.
Right.
I didn't mean offense to anybody. Never saw them growing up, but once in a blue moon. Now they're everywhere. Not relegated to just squirrels, too. They were not rare when I was growing up. You never saw a black squirrel.
No,
never.
They didn't exist.
They like popped into existence. There's an albino squirrel in my mom's neighborhood in Brighton.
Sweet.
That's just white. It's fucking gorgeous. I've seen it once. That thing's awesome. But the black squirrel like popped up out of nowhere and reproduced like you know what. And they're everywhere now. So anyway, all right, we'll leave it there. Thank you everybody for being here. I hope you enjoyed the late night edition of the show. I like going late, so I don't mind.
If I'm late to my meeting tomorrow morning, I'm blaming all of you.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fair.
Sending them your way.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep. I will take that lashing. All right, Ames, I'll text you tomorrow and we'll figure out what we're doing. And I don't know what your day looks like tomorrow, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I fly home tomorrow right during showtime. My flight leaves at 5. I land at like 8.
Okay. Well, maybe we do a late one.
Yeah.
If we do an or we don't even bother tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll text you. We'll figure it out.